Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to another podcast, another one on my own. I don't have an excuse for it, actually. Me and Hayley were supposed to record earlier in the week, and I just couldn't be bothered. So, couldn't be bothered to do the podcast, just couldn't be bothered to record. So, I've decided that actually this is quite a special day because this is my third wedding anniversary. Not the day of the day of recording. So today's the 6th of May and this will be going out on Friday in a couple of days' time. So it's Wednesday today. And I thought I'd just talk to you a bit about my wedding, what I would do different, how I feel 3 years on, all that kind of stuff. So a short and sweet little anniversary podcast today. So roll the intro.
Hello and welcome to Confetti Conversations,
the podcast where me and my sister talk all things weddings, wedding planning and married life.
Okay, so yes, it is my third wedding anniversary today. 3 years married, which feels crazy. For those of you who don't know, I got married on my anniversary, mine and Sam's anniversary. So we've been together 9 years today, and yeah, married for 3. So crazy times. We've obviously, we've been together 9 years. We know each other very well. We were together 6 years before we got married. We were quite young when we got together, really. We were 21, 22. We were at uni. We've grown up together. And I always say this, we've figured out life together. We got together in our early 20s and all of our adult life, I call my adult life post-uni. So all of our adult life, we have been together. We've spent the entire time of our adult life together. And I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. 9 years is a long time in anybody's book, and I do think both my parents and Sam's parents are still together. That goes the same for Hayley and Ellis. Both, obviously, mine and Hayley's parents are together. Ellis's parents are still together. And I think for us, that value of having your parents together is something that I've always been very much along the lines of, I want, when you marry somebody, you go in forever. You don't think about the fact that you might get divorced or you might not be with them for the rest of your lives. You think about the fact that this is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And I think in any relationship, you are either going to be together forever or you're going to break up. And I think you enter every relationship with the thought of, I'm going to be with this person forever. And then obviously when you marry somebody, you go into it with the exact same intention. So obviously I went into this very much, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. And I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. And I think, a marriage is a big commitment. It doesn't change anything in the terms of our relationship is no different. From the day we got married and the day before we were married, nothing in our relationship changed. For me, I think I felt a bigger shift when we got engaged. So when we got engaged, I was like, this is forever. That commitment that he's made, not that I didn't think that he was committed to me before that, but the feeling of this is forever, we are 100% committed to one another. It was very real once we got engaged. So for me, the actual not physical, but the feeling of something changing when we got married, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like, oh, it's all different now because we're married. But the commitment that you have when you're married is huge. It's massive because you are financially tying yourselves together. You are tying yourselves together in all aspects. It's not as easy as walking away from one another and being like, we don't work anymore, I'm going to walk away. it's very much a case of like this, we are completely tied to one another, and separating those ties is difficult. And I mean, I obviously don't have children yet, but if you were to have a child with somebody, yes, that does connect you to them. But if you're not married to them, but you have a child with them, like yes, okay, you will always have a connection to that person and you will always have that person in your life. Whereas when you get divorced, you can just separate it. But you don't have that financial tie if you're not married to somebody. So anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that really. Not upbeat and fun and anniversary chat. I don't know where that's come from, but yeah, nothing necessarily changed for me and Sam when we got married. Everything was very much the same. A month after we got married, we moved into our house, and so that was a lot of change. That sort of whole month was a big sort of upheaval for us. It all was a bit different. Like, I think for me, buying our house and moving into our house was a very big thing. And it felt very much like, oh my gosh, like we own this place, like this is ours, that we have to look after. And, we've only previously, we had only rented for 6 months or lived in uni accommodation or at our parents' houses. Like, we'd never had a responsibility quite as big as owning a house. So yeah, a lot has changed in the 3 years since we've got married. We obviously have, we've bought our house. We bought that pretty quick after we got married. We've both had job changes. I stayed in a job for a very long time. I'm a freelancer. I work contract to contract. So my job, I've managed to stay in the same job for a long time, and for the majority of the time we've been married. But I've now changed jobs and I'm working for a different company, and Sam's got a new job. We bought Cooper, our dog. And that's just the beginning, really. Like, there's so much more that is to come in our relationship. We would love to have children one day. This house is not our forever house. This is just very much our stepping stone house, but we're grateful to have it. And I do, even though 90% of the time it is filthy, and I there's dog hair everywhere, and we're not the tidiest of people, so it's not always tidy. It is still our home, and it's a very lovely home, and we're very lucky to have it. So there is massive changes that will come on the horizon in our future, and I am so grateful to be doing all of this with Sam throughout the whole, this whole journey. I'm just looking actually over on my sideboard. I have my, so every year I've made Sam an anniversary gift, and it's to do with the symbol, the material, whatever it may be that correlates with the year of marriage. So your first anniversary is paper, second is cotton, and third is leather. So I have, for each year, I have made him, I mean, it's probably more for my benefit than for his benefit, but I have made him a picture. Like, the first one was paper and it's in a picture frame. The second one was cotton and I did some embroidery and it's in an embroidery hoop. And then the third one is leather, and I was going to put it on a canvas, but I haven't got around to doing it. I haven't actually got around to putting it on. I know it's our anniversary today. I haven't even written his card, and it's the evening, and yeah, he'll be home in approximately, he didn't even finish work for another hour. So yeah, we've got a while till he's home, so it's fine. I'll have plenty of time to get him a card. I've got him a card, sorry, to write his card. But yeah, so I've tried to sort of keep the tradition of what you have as anniversary, like the material, as I said, that you would have the symbol of that anniversary. So I've done paper for the first year, cotton, and then leather. So I don't know what next year is, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing it, and it's it's a keepsake. I try and do them so that they're small and they can be flat. Eventually I could put them in books, like I could make a book of them all. I'm trying to do it so it's not like cumbersome and something that we would need to display. Eventually it could go in an office, or, you know, when we've got a bigger house and more walls to put things on, then, you know, we'll have space for them. But I've tried not to do them too big, and it's something that we can remember each anniversary by. And yeah, I just love it. And it just says Phillipa and Sam, established 6th of May 2023, and then the first one says first anniversary paper, second anniversary cotton, third anniversary leather. So that's what I've done for our anniversary gift. Sam has always got me little like trinkety cute things. I have no idea what he's got me this time. But yeah, he's always got me something sweet like that. And he's very good at little like trinkety cute little things. He's got me some amazing things over the years. You know, when we've been apart from each other, he's been very good. Like, you know, if I've been feeling a bit down and been missing him, he's been really good at getting me, you know, sending me cute little things. Like, he's once sent me a little ceramic house that's something like, you know, home is where you are or something. And then another one was a little puzzle piece that says you're my missing piece. Like, it's just, you know, he's very, very thoughtful with his gifts. So bless him. But let's talk a little bit about my wedding, and if I would do anything differently, what was a trend, what I think is a tradition. Obviously, we talked lots about my wedding in the past, but, you know, I thought it'd just be nice to sort of reflect on it on my anniversary. So a couple of things. What would I do differently? Now, differently, I think I still am very rustic. I've come to terms with the fact that I will never be a clean girl. I'm not that person. That's just not in my nature. I probably will always be a very rustic girly. You know, I like different types of woods altogether. I like mixed materials. I'm not, you know, I'm not clean cut. I'm not a clean girl aesthetic. That's just not me whatsoever. And I've come to terms with that, and I know that that's what I'm going to be like. But I do think that there are some aspects of my wedding that, you know, maybe were very mismatched. Like, I don't know, I'm just looking now at, I had some pillar candle holders that were all very different. And I liked the fact that they're all very different, but I maybe wouldn't choose the white. I maybe would go with like a wood effect or a stone effect or something like that. I think I'd make them look a little bit classier. And the white now to me is a little bit, I don't know, I just don't love it as much as I did. When I got married, also the trend of the terrariums, there was like the IKEA terrarium that you would have your cards in. I still really like it, but I think I could have done something a bit more unique, a bit more me. I think I did it because it was a trend, and as much as I loved it, and at the time it looked really good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it would be for. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know that it would be 100% what I would do now. Colour scheme, I would definitely keep the same. I loved my colour scheme. I loved the girls were in this like tones of sage and olive. There was a little bit of one of the dresses were a little bit minty. So it really had this beautiful like earthy tone, green tone to it, very much similar if you're watching to the colour of my trousers. Yeah, just loved it. I loved the fact that the boys had peach ties and peach pocket squares. They didn't have green to match because none of the girls' colours were matching necessarily. So it would have been really hard to find a tie and a pocket square to match. And I think it would have been a bit too much having them all in matching ties of green when all the girls were in different tones of green. So I like the fact that the boys were in peach rather than the green. I loved my flowers. They're still here. That's my bouquet. I loved the fact that mine had white flowers in it as well as the peach flowers and the green foliage, whereas the girls, all their flowers were just the peach and the green foliage. Along with all of the displays, I had a big long top table one, and I had lots and lots of displays of flowers, which I would definitely have again. I wouldn't have a guest book if I did it again. I wasn't bothered by that. We did little puzzle pieces and it just wasn't necessary. I wouldn't do that again. I would definitely have a crate of crisps again. That was a brilliant idea. So if you're thinking about it, do it because everybody loved it. I loved the sweet cart, but I would do it differently. I would find a better way of displaying it. I had all my like displays, if you like, on like trestle tables with white tablecloths over the top, and I would do them differently now. I would have found some form of furniture, or I just would have done it differently. I would have made it look better. Yeah, those bits were a bit naff, I think. Whereas like I've got this sort of, it's in my hall now, like this A-frame with tiers on it. It's for the garden, but I have it now as like my shoe rack. It's really good. And I had all of the photos of like my mom and dad's wedding photo, my in-laws' wedding photo, like grandparents' wedding photos. And I had that on that A-frame, and that looked really good in the corner. And I think I would do the same thing again. I would probably do my arches differently. I think they were, I don't want to say tacky, but I just think they were a bit low budget, which they were. And they gave the right effect, but they just weren't right. So yeah, I would definitely do those differently. I would have the same venue. I loved my venue. I loved my church. All of that I would keep the same. My dress, I probably would have kept the same. I don't know, actually. I mean, I love it, but I don't know whether now there's different styles that I would probably prefer. I I've lost a lot of weight since my wedding. I've changed body shape since my wedding. Would I look for a different style? Maybe. Would I look for something that flatters me in a different way? Maybe. But I love my dress, and I don't think I wouldn't change it. I would, however, change my hair. Hated my hair on the wedding day. Not my hairdresser's fault. She was absolutely incredible. But my hair was too long. I should have cut it, but I wanted long hair at the time, but now in hindsight, I should have cut it. I had these really long curls that came down the front of my face, but no other face framing. And that's what I wanted. That's what I'd asked for. But yeah, I should have cut them as well. I loved my hairpiece. I loved the back of my hair. I loved my veil. But yeah, my hair, I should have cut my hair, and I should have had the front pieces either completely gone or better face framing. Yeah, just not that bit I didn't love. But that was completely my own fault. I chose that. Shoes I would have kept the same. Sam's suit I would have kept the same because I still love it, and he still wears it today. It's really beautiful. The boys' suits I would have kept the same. Top table I would have kept the same, although I would have done maybe something a little bit more elaborate with it. I think it was a little bit boring, but we had a sign behind our heads, a neon sign that said "Five Ever and Always," which is like our quote. Like we say, when we say I love you, we say I love you five ever and always, because five ever is longer than forever. And the amount of people that said to me on the wedding day, you spelt forever wrong, or what is five ever? And I was just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's sentimental to us. It's now above our bed in our bedroom, and we love it. So, and I made that myself, and I would definitely do that again. I really enjoyed doing that. What else? I would keep the night before the same, but I would make it more structured. I'd probably lots of people came, but I think it was more for the people who hadn't travelled, and because we were quite close to home, there wasn't like that many people there. And as much as it was really lovely, and it allowed me to sort of have some proper time with family that I hadn't seen for a while, and Sam's family, yeah, I probably would have made that more of a thing. And I also would have made the morning after more of a thing. Although we did manage to see lots of people and like had breakfast with lots of family and friends. I would have made more of that day, the day after and the day before, which is where having like a destination wedding, even if your destination is only a couple of hours from your house, it makes it much more special because people have all traveled there, so they're spending more time with you. So that's something that I would take into consideration. I wouldn't probably, like, I liked my wedding car, but I probably wouldn't have bothered with it. Initially, I wanted my uncle's car, but my dad, because it was a 3-door, my dad was like, there's no way you would get in it. So I probably just would have put a bow on one of my friends or family's cars and just, picked the nicest car and asked somebody to drive me. Like, I think the only thing about that is that obviously if it's a friend or family, you don't get that moment. Like, I had a moment with my dad where we really could like chat, because the person who was driving us was a stranger, and we didn't necessarily need to talk to them. We obviously did talk to them, but we didn't need to talk to him. We could have that moment together. My dad did mention that he would have loved to have had that time with Hayley like he did with me in the car. They didn't really have, that time, because when we were walking from the getting ready room to the church, for her, it was like quite short, and we were there, and the wedding coordinator was there. So yeah, that I think is really important. Even if you don't have a long walk or, anything like that, I think it's important just to have like 20 minutes with your dad, and just, if your dad's giving you away, just to have that moment, because it was really important to my dad, and I think it probably is important to other dads as well. Other things that I would have done the same, I did little coffee table books that had the first day, the yes day, and the best day on them, and absolutely loved those. They were a proper little talking point. They were on by the little sofas. So on the sofas I had blankets and pillows, and just made it look cozy and pretty, because they were just like some white sort of futon sofas that fit the theme of the marquee but didn't fit my theme. So I just wanted to make them a bit more cozy, I think is probably the word. I also had card games in that area. I don't think a single person played with them, but I'm glad I did it, because I feel like it was something for people to do. To me and to most people I talk about my wedding to, the day went really, really quickly. It wasn't, it didn't, because I think it was just, there was always something to do. We were moving from place to place, like apart from from the wedding breakfast to the end of the night, we were sort of all in one place. But I had my my evening guests arrive at, I think it was 6:30, so quite early, which I really loved, because it meant that there was no lull after the dinner. That sort of the dinner's finished at about 5:30, probably, maybe a little bit later. Then we, as the bridal party, went off and did the bridal party shots. And by the time we'd finished that, the evening guests were arriving. So, there was a little bit of time for the people in the marquee to mingle, and then the evening guests arrive, and that brings a whole new energy. So yeah, I was pleased with my timings. Yes, okay, it was early, but I was really pleased with the fact that it was early, because it just meant that there was no lull. There was no sort of quiet time. It was, go, go, go. It was fun. It was interesting. And it was exactly what I wanted. Would I change anything else? I don't think I would. I think I would keep all my bridesmaids the same. Although, I mean, to be fair, not really, but friendships can change, in the 3 years since we've got married. There are potentially some of my bridesmaids who I am closer to now than I was then, or who I've drifted apart slightly from, but all of them are still massive, massive people in my life, and they mean the world to me, and I would have them all again in a heartbeat. I think I've spoken before about this, but in an ideal world, I wouldn't have 9 bridesmaids. So I don't know whether I would honour all of the girls and just have like 3 or 4 bridesmaids, and have all of the girls do something for the wedding. But I just felt like with 9 of them, it was really hard to have like that individual time with them in the morning. Whereas like for Hayley's wedding, there was 5 of us, and was it 5? Yeah, 5 of us. And it was really intimate. It was really lovely. We were all together. We were all in one room. Nobody was breaking off. Like, it just felt really like wholesome and just really lovely. It was really nice. So yeah, I think if I was to get married again, I would seriously consider 9 bridesmaids. And I know that everybody said to me, oh, 9 bridesmaids, you can't have 9 bridesmaids. And yes, okay, maybe they were semi right, but in reality, I loved having all those girls with me. And although it was hard to spend individual time with those people, it was still really special having them all there. Like knowing when you turned your head that all of my closest girls were in that room with me whilst I was getting dressed, and they all saw me in my dress first, and they were all walking down the aisle with me. Like that feeling is sort of indescribable, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So if you're thinking about having 9, but you're not sure, it's a lot, and maybe I would schedule in time for them, not necessarily not have them. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just so pleased that I managed to have all of my girls with me. Like it was such a privilege to have them all there, and I would highly recommend, if you're considering it, having them with you. But equally, it's a lot on the morning of your wedding, and if you're the sort of person that needs peace and quiet and calm, if you feel a little bit overwhelmed, then I would probably have less and keep the room calmer and quieter and much more sort of not subdued, but like just more like bring the energy down a bit, keep everybody like in a nice sort of zen space, I guess. Whereas mine was a bit more chaotic, but I loved it, and that just suited me down to the ground. So yeah, I think I wouldn't really change anything else. My wedding day was the most incredible day of my life. I loved every second of it. I have loved every second of being married to Sam. Like he is just, I'm not very soppy and emotional. That's just not who I am as a person, but I'm very emotional, but not with him. Like when I talk about him, but he, yeah, is just the kindest soul, and treats me like an absolute queen, even when I'm being unreasonable and difficult and not being the kindest human being. He is always so respectful, so kind, and so loving towards me, and I am so lucky to have him in my life. And yeah, 3 years of married bliss. There's been plenty of arguments and there's been plenty of disagreements, but we have had, the most wonderful 3 years of marriage so far, and I cannot wait for the next 3+ years of marriage. Next year we will have been together for 10 years, which is just crazy. I just can't believe that we'll have been together for so long. Saying that, then I'm 30 now, so I would have been I'll be 31 when it's 10 years. So we were 21 and 20. Yeah, because he'll be 30. So yeah, 21 and 20 when we got together, which is just absolutely insane. Absolute children. But we've had a wonderful life together. Like we're so happy, and it's only the beginning, really. We still got so much to come in our life, and 3 years, here's to the rest. So yeah, it's what a lovely little catch up about my wedding and married life and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just a nice little short and sweet one, but I wanted to mark the occasion because it's nice to document these things. So yeah, for now, I'm Philippa. This was Confetti Conversations, and we'll see you next time. Bye.